We continue our look ahead at the Delaware elections as we talk to one of the candidates. And there's a new app that'll tell you if a Del. Plow is in your area. This is the Delaware Way. Welcome to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. There's an important election coming up in Delaware. Many offices are up, and my next guest, Karen Hartley-Nagle, is running as a candidate for the Newcastle County Council President, running as a Democrat for the Newcastle County President. Why you?
Well, Larry, I love politics, and especially local politics. I've been very involved for the past 15 or 20 years, and I just love working on the issues. In addition to that, the timing is right for me. I have 4 children, 26, 20, 18, and 16, and they're leaving the nest. And, you know, I've been watching council. I've been going there for this past 7 months. I've made nearly every meeting and council meeting and committee meetings. And what I'm seeing is there's a lack of leadership there. In addition to that, the current president of council has just been, and as I'm watching this, a rubber stamp for the executive branch, and we can't have that. We have to have a separation of powers. We have to have people who are leading and founding their own initiatives, and I've not seen that from the current president. He has not led any initiatives. He's not excited to be there. He's not passionate about the issues that are there and coming to the table. And I'm there watching him at the table, and he doesn't have the information needed or the ideas and vision in order to lead council.
Tom Bullock?
This is Chris Bullock.
Chris Bullock.
Mm-hmm. You know, and in fact, county council in one of the meetings, they had actually said that this is the worst council that they've ever seen in 20 years, and that's on the record. And that says something about the leadership, because these are good people. These are good council people. They want leadership. They want to make a difference and do a good job. And they are doing the best they can, but it's very difficult to do when you don't have the leadership there and the passion and the ideas to follow.
Yeah, so you made a lot of accusations against Chris Bullock, who has been in the job and doing the job. Specifically, aside from him being, as you say, a rubber stamp, but we don't know if he is, he may agree with everything on those issues, and we won't give him an opportunity to come in and speak for himself, too. Is there something that separates you from him? Are you saying that you wouldn't have voted on some of these things that he voted for? I
have been more vocal, yes, on some of the issues that he has voted for, and actually led on. Give me one.
Just tell me one. How you would have voted differently, or you would have led a fight that he, as you say, was a rubber stamp for.
One was, and he did change his vote and voted differently. One was Tom Gordon had brought up, had not done anything about the Ellesmere cop. Is it an Ellesmere issue or is it a county council issue? To me, it was a county council issue. And when I read in the paper that Chris Bullock said it was a distraction, this is not a distraction. This is why you're there, to lead. If there are these allegations, right or wrong, ferret them out. Hold an investigation, see if someone's doing something wrong or not, and say, we don't want to see that happening again. If it sounds unethical, we don't want to see that occurring. And what I'm finding is that the trust in county government has been eroding. And so I want to bring back trust in county government again.
Let me bring up another issue. Tom Gordon had a $1.5 million county surplus, which everybody went, wow, that's great. We can do so many things with that. You can build parks, you can put it towards the future. And he took a big chunk of that money and gave 1,500 county employees a $750 bonus. And there was many in council who weren't for that, and there were many people in the community who weren't for it. How do you feel about it?
I believe that it could have been done differently. At the same time, we were talking about the realty transfer tax, and I was on WDEL. We were talking about that and really trying to make sure that the legislature did not take those monies. And so I believe it was bad timing politically, on top of that would not have been where I would have placed that money. Tom talks about a surplus. However, there's a lot of bonded indebtedness. There's a lot of debt that he's creating. So he's creating more debt, but he's saying we have the surplus. And, and the county pensions also are underfunded. And when Tom went in 2000, it was I believe it was 128%, and it's down to 72 now. I was speaking with someone from the governor's office, and he was talking, I believe they're about 95. So there's a disconnect there. I believe we need to be funding those pensions and creating less debt that our grandchildren and our children are going to be paying for.
Anybody who runs for office right now, whether it is in county or state or even at the federal level, one of the big concerns is going to be the business climate in Delaware and the economy of Delaware, especially now that DuPont is leaving. That's going to create a bit of a vacuum, at least in the short term. At least in the short term, as more jobs go, and they're now saying that the headquarters is going to be here in Newcastle, but it's actually going to, it is going to move out
it's
after
leaving,
a couple of years.
And if you're out in the community and you're networking, you're hearing about it. You know that they were leaving for quite some time. It's not a surprise that they are, but what the centerpiece for my campaign is going to be economic development. And I'm going to be doing everything I can. I've already reached out to the Delaware Economic Division, DEDO. I've already reached out to the congressional delegation. And I'm going to be collaborating, doing everything we can, not only to bring jobs in, but also to retain jobs and to grow jobs.
Well, that would be Chemours.
And
if you were to get in the right
instance,
time, you'd be heavily involved in Chemours. Can you possibly do something that's not being done to keep Chemours?
Well, one thing I do know is that if you do nothing, you're not going to be able to do something. So, you do everything we can, but it's a collaboration, it's working together. And you can only do that if you're out in the community and you're talking and you're here listening and you're hearing what can be done and who's doing what. You have a heads up earlier than what we're seeing right now in county government. And they have not been reaching out to the state, to the congressional delegation, and working collaboratively together in order to create more jobs, to retain those jobs we have. And it's not all bad. We are experiencing a growth in small business. So we've got to look at what we can do.
But can the growth in small business in the short term possibly make up for the thousands of jobs that will be lost by DuPont and the possible hundreds more jobs that will be lost if Chemours leaves?
I think that we'll have to do it differently, and we have to have a strategic plan, and we have to be very aggressive in how we're going to expand economic development for the county, what they can do, because the state takes the lead in that. But what the county can do is with the Unified Development Code to make it more predictable, to make it so that instead of taking them 4 to 6 years to get through the process, that we can condense that, to make it less, to make it easier for them to get through.
Everybody seems to be centered on crime in Wilmington right now and what to do about crime in Wilmington. I've had Elmer Setting here several times. He does a wonderful job in Newcastle County. And one of the proposals was to combine the two departments, make it one department, and let the Newcastle, whoever's in charge, and probably Elmer Setting, I don't know, but whoever's in charge would also take Wilmington in to try to fight crime in Wilmington. How do you feel about that idea?
Well, for me, crime has no borders. And what we're seeing, the crime in Wilmington is in the county as well. And what I'll be doing is collaborating, working together, whether you combine them or not. I've spoken to Elmer, and we're in agreement, I believe, on many of the issues, including body cameras, which I believe in, so I would be in support of that. But also what we're dealing with is not just the crime, it's the lack of jobs. And I'm working with someone that worked in intelligence in Washington, and he is going to be retiring, and he has joined my campaign to talk also about focus on heroin and the problem of heroin, which is huge problem in both the county and the state, as well as the city of Wilmington. So all of those issues have to be worked on together, but you have to have a collaborative approach. Collaboration,
but not unification, not getting rid of one and letting the county take over in Wilmington.
Correct.
And why not?
I just believe that they have their own jurisdictions, but I think that they can work together.
Because they did this in Camden County, and it did work in Camden County, New Jersey, when they got rid of the Camden Police Department and just made it one county department.
And I'm not saying no. If someone comes to me and has a really good plan for doing this, and they believe and lay out a good argument that it can work, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I'm not there yet.
Well, Elmer's sitting sat where you were sitting, and I've talked to him about it, and he said it's never going to happen. So, so you might be on safe ground. Karen Hartley-Nagle, candidate for Newcastle County Council President, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Thank you, Larry.
you joining us. One of the big complaints every time it gets to be this time of year is how come the state isn't plowing my street? Well, pretty soon you'll be able to keep track of the snow removal apparatus from your iPhone. Doesn't mean you're getting a plow. We'll explain when we come back.